Yeaaight, yeah. Alright.
And I'm Kodiak. Yeah. There'll be a tiny bit of information about it at the very end. But other than that, this will just be focused on the Week 11 stuff, despite the interesting Week 12 games. And I would say, I'd apologize that we missed those because, we're doing Friday instead of Thursday as usual, but they were Wednesday games, so it didn't matter. Yeah. Good. This was a good week. 2 weeks ago, it was I won the match, but I kind of, had detriment of the war from taking damage. The previous week was, like before this most recent one, was I lost the game, but I got good at like a progression on my pieces. This is the week where they both happened. I got a 2-0 win over some orcs, and I got SPP on good pieces.
Nice.
Yeah, I got a rookie warrior up to 4 out of 6 SPP, and man, would I love to get him a level by the end of the season.
Yeah.
And I leveled a block Pestigore, and now he's block Mighty Blow. So hopefully he'll start generate his own SPP and be a an additional killer on the team. So really nice week, and took no damage, and a 2-0 win is nice. If I can close out this season with another win and a tie, which given my opponents is not impossible, I have a shot at maybe staying in 2A. Not guaranteed, but it's not impossible. At the very least, I'll feel better going into next season.
Yeah.
And if I go to 3, that's fine.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll see some of y'all there.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. I'm curious how all that will play out, right? Because obviously there's a number of Division 1 teams that came down to 2. And there's still just stuff like being sorted out with the tier system. So I wonder what will happen with teams like with good to middling records. And I suppose there'll possibly be rerolls in there too that just throws everything off.
Yeah, you get into what are the rerolls? How many of the teams that do better than me go up to Div 1? Right? Which means how many people do they need to stick around? How many people in Div 3? Does someone in Div 3 who might come to 2 actually jump to 1, right? Because they do really well. All those sorts of questions. Are irrelevant. So and if whatever happens. It's at least I am sad my last week is against the Chaos Kill team. That's probably gonna destroy my team and everything. So I can't say too much, but
that'll be telling. I mean, it'll truly be an end to the season. It's an exciting time. Obviously, we're pretty excited in 4D. Everyone, like we said, playing their matches early, and just trying to figure out what postseason's going to look like. And all of that is pretty magical. So it should be pretty good. I did have one question for you about your team.
Sure.
So taking Mighty Blow on a second Pestigore, is that how's that usually viewed in the Nurgle world? Because I don't think I've seen too many teams with 2 Mighty Blow Pestigores running around.
It's not that uncommon. The fact that you don't see it as much is just because Pestigores are being armor 8 and being fast sometimes get exposed and get killed.
Yeah.
And so a lot of time you don't see it because people don't have enough development on them.
Gotcha.
That said, I'm only doing a ball carrier and 2 killers and only 1 and a Rackle guy.
Yep.
And some people do a Rackle guy in a different utility piece.
Yeah.
Metal did this frenzy juggernaut guy. Part of the reason I'm doing this is, so it was always the plan to do this, partly because I didn't go piling on my main killer.
Yeah.
And that meant there's always in the back of my head, I should do one with piling on as a second one. And the second thing is my killer took a movement bust.
That's right. Yep.
And it's I'd like one that was a little bit faster that could
Yeah.
Because it's really when people set up 2 back from the line, right, where it's empty space, dude.
Yeah.
It's if you have 6, you can start on the line, do up, hit, back, back. And you're back, and you're like you're actually like protected.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're 5, you can't do that. You need to have like the warriors move up and protect you, and it actually does feel different.
Yeah. Well, especially if the kick is deep, and your line is moving forward, and the ball is like not secure. Yeah, it's just especially with I would imagine with Nurgle and the speed issues that you have already. Cool. Well, yeah. Thanks for walking through that. I feel like we see Nurgle everywhere in playoffs and such, and I just haven't really experienced that before. So, yeah, that makes sense. All right. Well, let's jump into our first match of the week. Oh, actually, before that, let's talk about year-end 4D Party Cap.
Sounds good.
It's the name that's stuck right now. So, just a reminder, we've been hyping this up for the past 2 weeks. But we are still planning to have any and all from the division that want to join us on voice chat. We'll probably just like set up probably in the division Discord. And yeah, talk through our seasons and what's next for you, whether it is postseason play or retiring your team or getting ready for next season. So, part of what's going to fuel the agenda for that, so to speak, is going to be the year-end exit interview. Just a little short questionnaire, try to capture what your favorite moments were from the season, what your favorite players were, what your least favorite team was to play against, what have you. Just something to kind of like, again, encapsulate how things went for you in the season and what you will remember from this division.
Yeah, and the short surveys, I think like this should not take more than 5 at most 10 minutes to do. It's a lot of it's just a few quick questions, and hopefully an RSVP to the season end. What's it called, the 4D Party Cap. Which I mean, you don't have to RSVP to show up. We want to know who we should be looking out for to make sure to get on the Discord channel.
Yep. Yeah, there'll be a maybe option if you want to just have us pencil you in. That will be after this recap. I'm gonna have the link posted on the YouTube description. I'll also post it in the Division Discord. And maybe see if David can just pin that so folks can find it. If you want to start on it now and wait till you finish all your matches, you can do that. It'll be set so that you can go back and edit it. And because, there's still a few more matches to be played, but hopefully we get all those in, like I said, before the 14th, preferably, a few days.
But yeah, if you know you're going to be at the party cap, but don't want to say, an example question that's on there is sort of like who gave you the toughest match this season. I don't think it's worded like that, but that sort of thing is you can wait to the end of the season to do that. But if you know you're going to be at the party cap, go ahead and do that section of it.
Cool. And David's in chat saying he can pin it. Sweet.
Cool.
Yeah, so we'll get that posted after we go through this recap. So let's get ready to to alpha off, I guess.
That is where we're starting.
Yeah. And boy, was this an alpha off, though. As we're like contracted to say, it's been a rough season for Cross of the Empire.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? No perms this game.
That's true. Yeah. I think both teams holding true to their casualty differential, more or less. They'll be missing their nice splitzer for their next match, but yeah, their team will at least... and a big level. I did not realize that catcher level. I missed that.
Finally got himself a defensive skill.
Yeah. Wow, that's huge.
Congrats to Tabelon. Well.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty big. Okay, so I got a chance to watch this, and obviously you can see quite a bit of cash coming to the Pro Elf side. They got Eldril, they got an extra Apo, which I don't think I used, but because again, the damage was pretty light, and the Wizard. And yeah, this one started out with the Pro Elves wanting to go on defense. They kicked it. And so pretty standard elf start for the Wood Elves. They got the ball, had it in the backfield, doing some work with the tree. Tree didn't cause any major turnovers this game, certainly early on. Got a KO and a Kaz in the first 2 turns, so yeah, it was doing work. They got the ball midfield, but they didn't really have a cage. This was kind of an interesting moment. And the Pro Elves managed to sack the ball carrier, which I believe was Aldia, or they KO'd Aldia on the way there. And Eldril goes to pick up the ball because Nerves of Steel. It's not a bad idea because there were still some marks on it. But he fumbles the pickup, then it bounces off of somebody that's...
I'm sorry, what? He went to pick up the ball?
Yeah.
Of Nerves of Steel?
Because, yeah. Does that not work with Nerves of Steel?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
That's Big Hand.
Well...
Nerves of Steel only works for catches and passes.
Well, that is what worked for the catch because the ball fumbled, hit a prone player, bounced back into his hands, and then Nerves of Steel.
Yeah, that's the play, right?
Yes.
Yeah. He's not going to pick it up because he doesn't have the skills
catch.
For that. But Nerves of Steel and catch, he's going to get it on the bounce.
Yeah. Well, I think this was me trying to I was like, why did Eldril go for the ball versus trying to hypno-gaze somebody that was near the ball? There was no hypno-gazes from Eldril at all this match. And I don't remember if that's a thing that Cross of the Empire has done to not do that before.
You mean like the way Ravenpill won't take wizards?
Yeah.
Those I'm going to take Eldril, but I won't use the skill you take Eldril for.
Yeah, exactly. Too OP. So that all sets up probably the next 2 turns, which are kind of the turns of the match. So the Wood Elves managed to strip the ball from Eldril, but the piece that had marked for the blitz strip attack from the War Dancer was Balza, who caught the ball. So the ball wasn't going to get moved any further, Then the Pro Elves try to sack it, but they can't. So then they mark up all around Balza. This is wild. They mark him almost completely up, except for 2 squares, next to a rooted tree, which was also a little wild too, and lightning bolted at the end of the turn. I guess hoping for the scatter to just hop into their arms. I probably would have done the wizard before all of that, but the wizard does end up Kazzing. Yeah, that's the badly hurt on Balza. But the ball scatters right next to the tree, one of the tree squares which nobody was standing in. And so Wood Elves come back with a vengeance. The tree actually killed Tibelion Noella. I'm sorry. The other Noella, the Blitzer. And that's when the one Apo came out to save it to an M&G. And then the Wood Elves pick up the ball and move downfield to safety. And from there, it's at least for the next 2 turns, it's pretty straightforward. The Wood Elves snake to dodge at some point, but then the Pro Elves get a blitz, and I believe they still had a reroll, but they went and chose both down. And then the next turn, the Wood Elves just picked it up and scored.
Nice.
So at this point, it's 10 Wood Elves versus 9 Pro Elves, which isn't too bad. I mean, as you can kind of see, there wasn't a lot of damage on either side or removals. The KOs just seemed to kind of happen here and there. The Pro Elves set up for a 2-turn and managed to pull it off on turn 7. So the Wood Elves got a chance for a 1-turn, got a quick snap, and are able to pull it off pretty easily. There was a moment where pass block was relevant. It fired off, but they couldn't. I think it didn't end up being relevant, and so that's how we ended the half 2-1. For the halftime, for turn 9, for the kick, the Wood Elves got a blitz, and at this point, it just seems things just start working pretty well for them. They get somebody under the ball, and because they're just kicking short each and every time. Oh, I see. Okay, David coming in to clarify what happened with the pass block on turn 8. He was able to mark the thrower, but it just, I guess, same as what I said, ended up being irrelevant.
This will be the fun thing about that the season end cap is they can just say this stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So they have their speedy war dancer who caught the ball on the blitz. I think the Pro Elves tried to get away from Aldia and actually burn their reroll doing so. So when it came to making the punches on the Wood Elf, they got 2 chances because they managed to push them into somebody else. On the War Dancer, they can't get the knockdown. So Wood Elves take their time with their next couple turns of screening with the War Dancer. War Dancer handed off at one point to I think the guard catcher, but then the Pro Elves just cage dive and both down that catcher and managed to chasm. That's how Ash ended up cast. Just these wild plays the Pro Elves were pulling off and just causing injuries. The Wood Elves push around, fail to recover. Then the Pro Elves actually blitz a Wood Elf into the ball, which then another Wood Elf catches. This is turn 12 at this point, and so there's more passing and handing off. Eventually by turn 13, Wood Elves score again to make it 3-1. Then on their next kick, they get a perfect defense to complete the set of kickoff results in their favor. And I think at that point, Pros were just done with it. They were just firing. They didn't have any rerolls left, and they were just firing off first action blitzes everywhere or pickups, and they didn't. I think they were just done. So the Wood Elves managed to.
So the elf version of the Craig pip-up.
Yeah, exactly. Which is roll all the ones basically. Yeah, so the Wood Elves managed to obviously score to make it 4-1 on turn 16, and that was the match. But yeah, you can kind of see it too, just looking at the ball possession numbers too. So because we're not really talking about casualties here, and if you look, and obviously 4 levels for David was very targeted in where he was putting the ball and making vanity passes and so forth.
Yeah, 4 nice levels. Just bottom up, dirty players fun. You don't always see on elf teams, but I don't mind it. Gain the kicker better protected, give him a second roll as that wrestle dodge piece. That's cool. Move up on the thrower. There was some question of do you take this? I like it. I like the notion of particularly given you already got the base skills. You've got strong arm and accurate, and you've got dodge, so he's mobile. Make him a little more mobile, so that one turn where he really needs to push it, he can do so. Yeah. And Tree Man, grabs good Tree Man skill. It works really. It compensates for take root really well.
Yep, definitely helps with those 1 turns too.
You take it on plenty of big guys, but not usually at the start. But makes total sense on him. And he's already got stand firm, which is generally one of the things you would take earlier.
Yeah.
And guard matters less for what else.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, I like grab a lot for what else. And David's saying that plus movement is just more fun. I agree. I probably would have. I think I was thinking about this piece, and I don't play Wood Elves, so don't really listen to me. But I was thinking instead of the dodge, having sure hands there. But just for like those pickups, saving the rerolls for other things.
Mm-hmm.
But that's kind of how I would envision the thrower for Wood Elves, where you're just like passing the ball. You're picking up the ball, you hold it, and then you move up and throw it. Which is why I like plus movement a lot. But I probably just would have taken sure hands sooner. But.
Yeah. I mean, it's a choice. Sure hands is a little bit less valuable with them, maybe, because the theory is you don't ever let the ball get near someone who could blitz it, and that's like some of the utility. But
right.
And you're picking up on a 2+, but it's not a crazy skill. As we were saying, he would take block or sure hands. If it wasn't the move up. And also point out that grab on the tree man helps with the one turn. Because it means you can grab the guy and like pull him into position.
Yeah, exactly.
And with what I see with the tree man with that is even if he takes root. As long as you weren't counting on him moving into like that space,
right.
He's not going to like fail to activate the way like a troll would.
Yeah. And that's good reasoning for the dodge. Yeah, cut corners. Yeah, that makes sense.
But all in all, a nice development game, and the team is really in a position where it's going to make sense. Like if he's enjoying the team, to keep playing it for another season, if it's in this kind of shape.
Yep, definitely. And then, for Cross of the Empire, we said it at the start of this match, but the catcher finally getting block. Dodge could have been okay there too, but he uses that strength up to blitz a lot, so I think block makes 100% sense for that.
Absolutely.
And otherwise, a bummer about the MVP going to a journeyman, though maybe you had enough to buy him. I don't know. But I think that about covers that first match. Moving on, we have this match. I don't know. Oh man. Yet another tie for me. And actually, Flyboys too were both at the same record as we were at the start. And this was fun because I got to rewatch this. I got to rewatch the stream you all did, which was really good. Really helpful in pointing out a couple moments one moment in particular that I didn't see at all, and then one that I knew about, but just got to bring it on home for me. So this one, I was a little worried about how this would go, just because mainly that ogre is pretty annoying, and turned out to be very, very much annoying, but also like got a piling on blitzer to go with tackle mighty blow blitzer, so like one blitzer to get my runners, another blitzer to get my berserkers, basically. Is how I was kind of looking at it. And they did end up getting jambalaya at one point, but the Apo came out. But this one started out, I won the coin toss and wanted the ball first. I wanted to try to see if I could get some damage. Of course, I get blitzed, and I have my thrower out, kind of in the open, or my runner, sorry, and should have just had a lineman out there, but didn't take any damage from it. But they were able to kind of position in. I think they did a good job with it. They weren't very aggressive. They weren't overly aggressive, but they were primed. They were primed and ready in case like something bad happened with the pickup, or if I couldn't get the ball into safety. But that was something I was able to do on that first turn. No, actually, it was a touchback. That's right. Like, I think they had, like, cheated the line a little bit or something, where it was like, even on the blitz, like, you knew right away it was just going to fall out of bounds. So yeah, that made all of that very much easier for me to swallow. So I got the ball to one of my runners right away, because without any strip ball out there, didn't see the point in carrying with a sure hands thrower. And so I do some LOS hits, get the removal, actually, like, the perm on their dirty player, but otherwise don't do much. The Yeti does a 1/9. I'm bloodthirsty for this claw hit on the ogre, so I re-roll it and it doesn't do anything. And so just kind of a slow start. And that was kind of the story for that first quarter, was like me trying a bunch of stuff, like punching and fouling, and not getting too much for it. Even got like a good foul on the ogre. I mean, relatively good with the dirty player. I think it was like an 8+, or maybe I don't think it was a 7, but it's relatively good, but nothing on it at all. Didn't even stun him. So I'm like constantly switching back and forth, because they're just as fast as me. Well, faster really. And trying to get some removals in as I go. But I think we more so in the second half, definitely, but traded some KOs back and forth. There was a turn 5 where I don't have any rerolls left, and I have a partial cage going. The humans try to go in, and they do get the ball carrier marked up with tackle, but then they snake a dodge that would have like helped with their screen. And I think they would have done more movement to help with the screen, but basically it opened up this whole, for me, right side of the pitch. And I think, well, let's just go. And quickly dawns on me, like, I don't need to get up that far. And the humans can reach me wherever I go. I'm not, this isn't a slow team. And so my like half screen thing really doesn't do much at all. Humans are able to get the ball, like sack me and stun the ball carrier, but they can't pick up the ball. And then for the next 2 turns, it's really in doubt, like, which one of us is going to score, because they have some deep scoring threats. Oh, great. Welcome, Gojira, and that'd be cool if you could join us. And for the end cap, that'll be good. But yeah, so we really go back and forth trying to like get the ball, much less also like fight over that small patch of the pitch. I do like sack their ball carrier, and they had sidestep, so they sidestep to the sideline. It bounces out, and then it's in the middle of the pitch, in a more advantageous spot for them than me, but I had a chance. I tried to dodge and pick it up, but I can't get it. The humans try to pick it up and won on the pickup, and they don't have any rerolls left. And I think they did that a couple times, actually. Certainly as we get into the second half. But yeah, first half was like just that close, because they had who's it? Chuck Yeager, like just waiting for a pass. Yeah. And the blitzer just failed the 3+. So it was a very scary moment. Because if they had gone up 1-0 and then gotten the ball, I think it would have been a much different game. As it was, halftime 0-0, and they get 3 KOs on their turn 9. It was brutal way to start. After like feeling like I obviously let an opportunity go by exposing my ball carrier and then not being able to pick it back up. And then for them to come out and just like get 3 removals, I wasn't sure how I was gonna be able to fight back on that. But I do think it definitely affected how Klepto played, because I think once he saw that, he slowed down his plan for scoring. And so that, I think, also changed the face of this game, because if they had scored quickly, or I don't know, they had scored quicker and gone back on defense, I think it still could have ended up a tie. But anyway, the best play of the game then is, I think, Boomer showing us all of what he's worth, chucking a bomb and perming their newly minted piling on blitzer, gave it the movement down. Apple comes out, offers a agility down. And Klepto really likes being able to dodge his blitzers in and out. And said, I'll take the movement down. Which I think,
a choice I wasn't 100% sure about, but there was a legitimate like choice there.
Yeah. No, the Berserker was Miss Nick's game for this game.
Yeah, Billy Cheese Dog, that indicates he was not in this match, but he will be available in your match that you'll be playing this week.
Yeah.
The team's going to be at full strength.
Yeah, full strength, which means
2,000 TV.
Yeah, 2,000 TV. I think you'll be all right.
That's like my TV, man. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, it's just I think Orcs, and we've talked about, I'm skipping ahead, but Gojira's right here. So we've talked about Gojira's team being like so TV efficient this whole season, and now he gets to reap in those rewards, because I think just looking team for team, it's pretty nice for them.
Yeah, but we'll get to that.
Yeah. So this starts like an all-out casualty removal war between me and the humans. That bomb, like it just starts going back and forth. The humans punch back and Kaz, I punch back and KO their thrower, then they KO my thrower. It's 6v6 at turn 11. Like and then it just becomes like this positioning mind game that I don't remember a time that I've been in that, with like that few pieces and both of us kind of having some agility, kind of having some strength, both trying to like I don't know, figure out a plan. On turn 13, there was a moment in which, as was pointed out on the stream, if I did GFIs with my Berserker, I had a blitz on their thrower, their catcher ball carrier, which I think was, I think that was Chuck, that was carrying it around. And I didn't see it, and I had to dodge and do GFIs. I didn't see it. I tried to dodge out anyway, a different direction, fail, and didn't re-roll it. But I had positioned everything else in a way that the humans fell back again. Like the ball was in the back.
They kept retreating and
making
it really hard for it to not be a tie, frankly.
Yeah. And and then it became just like weird, like edge case opportunities for like, well, if you dodge this dirty player through 2 tackle zones, you could get a shot on the ball and stuff like that. And it's just like, well, yeah, I guess. I was kind of just hoping he would score, but I also didn't want to just let that happen, because I wanted to have 2 turns to counter score. But I didn't want to just like not mark up somebody just to like have that happen, because that's like when all his KOs come back and not mine or something. And so yeah, it goes back and forth, and obviously you can see by the score, ends up 0-0. Had a shot at the he had several shots, but his agility, one of his agility blitzers just couldn't make any dodges. I think it was Richard Ritchie, because otherwise, yeah, the dodge skill would have been happening more. But yeah, just could not dodge out into the end zone. I think tried 2 or 3 times after a failed GFI at one point. Had stunned him. I think that's why he moved back that one time, actually, because his scoring threat was stunned.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, but I managed to get a 2-die blitz on their ball carrier with a scoring threat and a potential recovery, and miraculously it went from 2 dice to 2 red dice for my Ulf, and I used the reroll on the first roll, and then on the red die rolled 2 6s. Yeah, which was an exciting moment, but then just couldn't get the pass. Got the pickup, but couldn't get the pass to the player.
Yeah, I'm sure it was a frustratingly close game for both of you.
Yeah, more so to like looking back on it after having seen, or just like knowing that I had an opportunity to score in the first half that I kind of squandered away a little bit. I think they still had some pieces to kind of answer, but
there was no way to make it safe. In that like first half scoring tip, I think it just could have been a little bit safer than that.
Yes, yeah, definitely. Yeah, and I think that was a good lesson on like getting in a scoring range doesn't necessarily mean running as far as you can.
Yeah.
But I don't know, was feeling pressure. But as far as development goes, I think decent for both of us. Good for both of us, I would say. Their thrower getting block is great. My blitzer getting juggernaut is great. And then maybe very timely influenced or like current events influenced skill pick on my lineman getting dauntless.
Yeah, that'll be useful against those orcs.
Exactly right. And some people in the Norse Discord swear by having just like these utility linemen that can do different things. So I was like, well, yeah, there's a few different ways I can go with this, but why not go with the most important way for now?
Yeah. I mean, and the picture is even someone looking at an orc.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. What better way? So that was that match. Frustrating, but like really interesting and like different types of strategy that I kind of had to think about, and hopefully it'll be a little sharper for next time.
Yeah, no, I thought it was fun. It was fun to stream, like a lot of back and forth.
Yeah.
Hybrid teams can do a lot of stuff. It's like, okay, they're bashing right now. Okay, now we're getting to the agility plays.
Yeah.
Some frustrating injuries, I'm sure, for Klepto Knight.
Yes.
The Ligger way. Yeah, like the move down on the blitzers, a shame. Agility down would have been bad in its own way. And the niggled lineman, he in fact fired. We have a Roger Locker 3.0.
Yeah, I think that was pretty immediate. So, I mean, currently with 0 bench, it's always going to have to be in the line, and that's just not worth it for a dirty player.
Yeah.
So, makes sense. Cool. All right. I've talked about myself enough here. Let's move to the next match.
First is a series of 3 matches that I will be describing.
Yeah.
This should be Tainted Brewers versus Razanim.
Yes.
Part of Pimp's move into first place.
Mm-hmm. Proving that I am the prophet. Come to save us all.
Yeah. So the Rats defend first. Chorfs go get the ball, they cage up easily. There's actually a fun turn too, where they make the cage around the Rat Ogre, his prone body to do a foul, but which then doesn't break armor. So it blitzes up onto the ball carrier, but there's like a ton of guard in the cage, so it's a 2 red die. Just push the ball carrier around a little bit. The Chorfs walk away from that easily. And this time they're able to set their foul on him when he's not inside the cage, and they get a KO. So he's out for a lot of the first half. There's basically a lot of good Chorf hits going on here. So by the end of the first quarter, we see Brutus takes an armor bust. That's happened. And there's 4 KO'd rats, including the Rat Ogre, the thrower and 2 of the line rats.
Mm. Mm.
The response to this from Obikumi was kind of interesting in that he started heavily basing the cage with line rats. This resulted in another badly hurt line rat and 2 more KOs.
Yeah.
It's only in the last couple turns of the half that they start running away, and there's just like a lot of damage been done by them.
Yeah, which, yeah. For the style of offense that they do, that doesn't seem like ideal.
Yeah, we'll get to that blitz in a second.
Yeah. You and me both. You and me both.
The first set of KO wake up rolls. This is for their turn 8. They're pretty decent for the rats. They get 3 out of 5 back. They get the rat ogre back. They're not really needed for that turn, but it's nice to eventually have him back. Martin Brisby 1 turn. That's no problem. There's actually like actually makes an extra dodge in 2 tackle zones at one point when he does the second dodge.
See that. Yeah.
He can ignore 1 but not 2 tackle zones, but it does turn out not to be an issue.
Yeah.
And the second set of KO rolls are fine. Brings back the last available line rat, leaves out the thrower, but with 2 sets of KO rolls, he's gone from 5 off the field to 1 and a Cas. So it's fine. So the rat's up to 1 turn again in the second half, but there's a blitz that, as was mentioned, and it's just like that's basically the game.
Yeah.
I'll describe a little bit more, but that's basically the game.
Yeah.
The natural 1-turner, he does survive a piling on without so much as a stun, so it's like, oh, maybe he's going to make it, but no. The sure hands hobgoblin actually fouls him. The dirty player, one of them had gone sent off already.
Yeah.
The other one was out of reach. And so the sure hands one hits him, and he's out of the match. And the hobgoblin gets ejected, but like that's totally worth it.
Yeah.
So the rats try to hustle into position to score on turn 10, but with like limited pieces and like the highly mobile centaurs. The Chorfs get a 3-die on Justin, who's been carrying the ball. He dies, in fact, but he's echoed back to the sidelines.
Oh my gosh, no!
Which with the moment what happened, I was like, oh god, just let him go,
Yeah, yeah.
Like you have the better piece, but
yeah. Well,
he comes back.
Yeah.
He never actually makes the field, but
okay, right. Yeah,
he's saved from death.
Yeah.
So the Skaven go grab the ball off the ground, try to run, but the Bulls are just not going to be denied. No. And this time Jeremy takes a badly hurt when he's hit. So by the end of Chorf turn 10, there's only one gutter run on the field. It's Nicodemus, and the Chorfs have taken control of the ball.
Yeah.
Billy dies turn 11. That's barely a footnote in the match because there's just rats leaving the field continuously.
Yeah.
But the rats don't really care, right? They do a 3-die uphill cage dive on the ball carrier with Nicodemus.
Wow.
And it's like him 3 line rats in the Roger, and he's like, I'm going in anyways. It doesn't get him anything, but it is happening. The Roger leaves the pitch on turn 13, and that's basically the point where it's over. That's the point where it's like actually over. Every rat's off the field or on the ground, and it's just the coach is hitting like end turn.
Is that when did Brutus get his armor bust, or did you?
Oh, that was actually that was in the first half.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I missed
pretty
it.
Fast.
Yeah.
That happened in the first quarter. So basically. So Chorf scored for the second time, turn 16, but it was like the last quarter was essentially just end game. End turn.
Yeah.
Because it was done.
Yeah, I mean, it was close to how we predicted. Obviously, right? Like
that. If it wasn't for that blitz, this would have been a 2-2 match.
Yeah, would have been 2-2. Could have taken all these injuries and just handed the rest of the division that tie.
Not like guaranteed 2-2, but like 90% 2-2.
Yeah. And Chorfs would have had to like make their removals and then make theirs way up the pitch quick. Assuming that second score went in for the Rats. I think it's very tragic that finally the Storm Vermin that leveled, and we're all like, oh, okay, guard, interesting, and then armor bust.
Yeah,
it's basically like block guard line rat. But I don't know.
But yeah. That's that match. Rough one for the Rats.
Yeah. We see another piling on taken on.
Going the full Robbie. That's an interesting choice. like he did. Garincha got stand firm in a similar situation, and I think he just wants more damage. He just hasn't been getting the damage he wants.
Yeah. Well, or maybe he's looking at Peter Cook and saying, "You're not as long for this world." So
I hate doing builds counting on the doubles though.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Right. Like it's not nearly as.
It's unfortunate that both of the claw chores, both the claw blockers have taken, stat bus.
I think we differ on the meaning of unfortunate.
I mean, unfortunate for Pimp Imp, which is to say, just sort of like good for the world. But...
yeah. But yeah, I mean, it was a nice game for them, given that they had 3 pieces out. One was just like a random hobgoblin, but their agility up hobgoblin, another one of their mighty blow guard guys, and not having, like, they didn't get the, they did get inducements in this match. What the hell?
Yeah.
Oh, they spent it. I see.
I mean, they got 50 because they were out 2 expensive pieces, and the Rats and Nim actually have a bench.
Yeah.
But they spent 50 of their own money to get that merc.
Wow. Okay.
And he was like tying pieces up in that. Like he was useful.
Yeah. No, he's done that for a handful of matches, and I think he's really liked the results because it's really nice. Yeah. It's like
base Chaos Dwarf blocker is a really good piece.
Yeah. Even if he's not hitting stuff, it's like, gosh, can never get rid of this guy. And he doesn't have to care about him, so he can just throw him on anything.
Yeah. Yeah. It would have been 2-2.
Yeah. You don't need my magical predictions for that one.
I can just tell you what will happen.
Yeah. Cool. All right, ready to move on to the next?
Yep.
Goat Work Orange winning 1-0 over the Wood Elves. A lot closer than I thought this would be.
Yeah. This is another one of the, like, a real big win this week. That's moving around that leaderboard.
Yeah.
So yeah, as we can see, this is Raven Pose. He's only got 2 rostered players. He got rid of his rerolls because with only 2 rostered players, like, rerolls are a waste.
Yeah.
Which gives him 770. So that's Morgan Thorg, Jordell Freshbreeze, who I've never seen before. But it seems like it's like a good piece. It's not Eldril's better, and cheaper, and so you take Eldril. But
is Jordell the strength 4 one? Or is that a different
you can
elf?
see what his strength is. That's 3.
But
yeah, I did. But he's strength 3. He's just high agility, mobile. He's a really good war dancer.
Yeah,
he's a war dancer with a couple extra skills.
Yeah.
So he's cool, but like Eldril's better.
Yeah. I agree.
But that's fine. This is Raven Pose doesn't take wizards. He's presumably not taking Hypnogaze either.
Well, he did against me actually.
Well, sure. But I assume this is him like experimenting with stuff and just trying to see.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was gonna say. Like he did, he tried the gaze, Hypnogaze, and now he's gonna try something else.
Yeah, AG5 is nice. It makes those leaps really good. Though, as it turns out, if you roll a 1, they still fail.
Well, yeah.
So I'll start talking about the actual match.
Cool.
Elves choose to receive. Chaos gets a blitz. Basically lets them base up the elves. And this isn't as influential as Pimp's blitz, but it helps out because it lets Chaos base up the elves, and it's going to ultimately mean that the elves kind of end up potatoing after a few turns, and that's what causes this 1-0 score. But but there's no removal of the first few turns, but the elves are spread out enough that they rush up the field for a quick score. That results in the ball carrier getting blitz, but staying standing. And like I mentioned, 1 on leaps. The ball carrier is Jordell Freshbreeze. He tries to go ahead and leap himself to freedom.
Oh, no.
He rolls a 1.
Oh.
If he had done that and then some dodges, and he's got dodge, he's got AG5, they're not hard.
Yeah.
That would have put him in the end zone.
Oh, gosh.
But the leap's a 1. He hits the ground.
Yeah.
Chaos goes for it, but Morgan Thorg is right in the area, and basically while they get it up, he keeps like coming after it. And
just like clearing people out of his path, right?
Yeah, and it means that the cast never really feel like they get the ball secure. They do get it up and get up the field a little bit, but then Bruno Ferrotri, right? This straight up lineman comes in, he gets the ball on the ground. But fortunately, St. James Place, fortunately for Chaos, St. James Place is able to eventually scoop up the ball and move to be within 1 GFI, which within scoring range, and he's able to get that done.
Oh,
so
wow.
it never feels like totally secure, but like Chaos manages to like get things done just well enough.
Yeah, and that was in the first half.
That was in the first half.
Interesting.
During this back and forth, Noble Willingham, that plus AG guy, he actually gets power appoed. He got badly hurt, and then that's shaken off. End of the first half, it's 1-0 with Chaos having turned the Elves over, and that's the score we're gonna see at the end of the game, right?
Yeah.
So how does that happen?
Well, how do all these injuries happen? They're not injuries; they're just badly hurts on the Chaos.
Fouls is the answer.
Wow.
So yeah, second half, it's the Chaos Elf. This is the Chaos Drive. Elves are actually only down 1 KO Journeyman. They really did not take a lot of damage. Wow. It was super frustrating for Trogsburg.
Yeah.
They have 11 on the field, given they have 2 star players. Chaos has 2 badly hurt Beastmen. In Sakai and Atomic Tangerine, thanks to Morg having done some work. So they're at their 11, but with no bench. Chaos actually falls behind on turn 11, where with the ball caged a bit behind the line of scrimmage, they basically moved up some Beastmen to be little foray into enemy territory. It takes a huge gang foul. It's KO'd. Next turn, Hessenite is fouled off with a badly hurt after surviving a hit from Morg. Journeyman that fouled him is also sent off, but it's like that's a good trade.
That's a pretty good trade.
And largely the third quarter is just Chaos being pushed back by having the cage pressured by Morg, which ends up with the cage really isolated from the rest of the team that's been scattered in more forward pockets. So by the end of the third quarter, it's 9 versus 9. But with the lost Chaos pieces being better than the lost Elf pieces. Right. The Hessenite gone, the Rackle Beastman is gone, and one of the Block Guard Beastmen are gone. And the Elves are just down Journeyman. But by the fourth quarter, Chaos is able to get a little bit more consolidated. The Kate has a little bit of support, but then the Apple goes to keep Mimosa from dying. And Morg just keeps blitzing into cage corners. The thing that I think ultimately ends up saving Troxburgs is Elf armor starts to break some. And you see most of the KOs you see sustained by the Wood Elves start coming in now.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Chaos isn't able to progress enough to actually try scoring, but they can just keep the ball under control.
Yeah. Wow. That is, oh man. Even having somebody die, I can just imagine Troxburg's reaction to the whole thing.
As you can see, Morgenthor did so much damage that he would have leveled if he was capable of it.
Yeah. Morgenthor is...
he produced.
Yeah. Came to play. Oh, wow.
In terms of, so no long-term damage to either their team. MVP ended up also on Morg. One, that was totally fair.
Yes, yeah.
But also, when you only have 2 frosted pieces,
right,
you can't expect to get MVP on either of them.
Yeah.
And we got level on St. James Place. That's really nice to get that first level.
Yep.
Wasn't selected, which is interesting. I didn't see if it was something special, but I assume it'll be block.
Yeah. Right.
I assume for Nurgle Warriors, you go block first unless it's a strength up.
Yeah.
I assume it's basically the same for Chaos Warriors.
Yeah. He might just not have looked at it, I guess. I don't know. I didn't see the stream. But yeah,
I saw the stream, but I don't know if he got into it or left because it's going on or whatever. But
yeah. Well, I guess we'll see this week. But got the win, even in the face of your armor breaking, or at least your injuries being worse than the Wood Elves.
Yeah, the Wood Elves really held up.
Yeah, it's nice. Cool. All right, well, let's move on to the next match. And that's, oh man.
This is a big one.
I wish Pit Pup was watching tonight, but this was
a lot
so
of
big.
Some highly ranked people in the div, I'm sure, very grateful to Pit Pup for this result.
Yep.
For two big
reasons.
results.
Yeah.
One, just the win, the first place team just getting hit. I don't know actually if they were first place going into this, but just a highly ranked team that's everyone's scared of, and that could easily win the division, taking a loss, and White Raven dying. What a great piece! That was gone.
That is huge. Yeah, like I think we would have predicted one, but not the other, and even so,
a death on an important piece, like that's surprise is the most important piece, but that's believable. But like that and loss is incredible.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I would say like Sterling Hornets has lived a fairly charmed elf season compared to a lot of the elves in our division. So like, I guess it was all stored up for this one big death, but I would have pictured like, some injuries and death, but not like this.
Yeah. Yes, let's get into it. So the Skaven Rat Rodents choose to receive just to get those starting hits. But it's a Sterling Hornets blitz. We actually saw a number of... I feel like I'm talking about a lot of blitz.
Yeah.
Fortunately, kickoff return to put the ball carrier under the ball. White Raven and I will say I spent this entire game because I knew the result. Just be like looking at White Raven like, when are you gonna die? Like I know it's coming.
So like went under the ball and like here it is.
White Raven and Kalmorn and Cromwell. They're sent to mark him up. They stay with him on either side. This makes the catch harder, though. I mean, he rolled a 4 on the catch, so that wouldn't be good enough for a Khemri piece, anyways. Yeah. Even in open field. White Raven does actually get blitzed on turn 1, but no, it's just a KO.
Oh, that's such a tease.
Yeah. And actually, the other marking piece gets shoved off by the throw rod itself.
Okay.
It's basically the way they handle it. They don't pick up the ball. Yeah. They just like push him off the throw rod, then surround him with Khemri pieces.
Nice.
They're actually not able to try to keep it under control. Like they want to keep it under control, but they can't. Blitz scatters the ball, and Kalmor and Cromwell does some elf bullshit, and he picks up the ball. But he's off on his own, and the killer goes after him, gets him down, gives him a KO. So that's first 2 turns, 2 pretty good elves gone. 1 very good elf gone, 1 good elf gone.
Yeah.
The elves make another shot at the ball, but there's a snake-eyed dodge that shuts it down partway through. So Khemri are able to get the ball up turn 3. Ball keeps ending up somewhat exposed, but the elves can't really do anything about it on the next couple of turns. Like there's just like angles, but they can't really make it work. The actual eventful thing during these turns is Ultra Craig gets KO'd during all this.
Oh no!
And, great piece. Obviously sad for Pip Up to have him off the field.
Yeah.
Khemri enter the second quarter with the ball in their hands, but it's held deep in their own territory. But then second quarter they start making progress, which includes a throw raw getting into the center of a cage while carrying the ball, dodging past an elf that was next to the rear of it. So like they set up like a based cage. Well, not quite, but it's like it's up against like this piece that's near the rear. And to actually get past into it, the thrower has to do a dodge. Just does it. It's cool. So they have a lot of territory to go still, but by the end of turn 6, there's 4 KO'd elves and only 1 KO'd Khemri. And then they did next turn end up moving half the leads of the field in a single turn, thanks to a handoff from Throra to Rathrin.
Wow.
And just potatoes up the field.
Yeah.
She's taken down by the elves. They make a play at scoring themselves, but a GFI is Snake Eyes, and they end up not being able to.
Wow.
So the half ends 0-0.
Wow.
During all this, Belikov Swift is served and killed, and the Apo then turns that to a non-casualty. So that's where that goes.
Oh, wow.
And that's a good piece. Like, I understand it's niggled. That's always tough to beat, but it is still a very, I'm sure, a useful piece.
Yeah, very. Yeah.
Second half, 2 elf KOs come back, including the White Raven. 3 other elves and Ultra Crag stay out. So the elves are
Ultra Crag.
So just the Khemri are the full 11. They're just missing one of their best pieces.
Yeah.
And so the White Raven Death Watch has resumed. So there's some shoving back and forth on turn 9. Kickoff event was a quick snap that didn't really amount to much. Turn 10, Belikov Swift is past the ball in some tackle zones, but nervous steal, easy catch, dodge around. As part of this, White Raven tries to block himself 3, but takes them both down. So stays base against Rathu. Rathrin is able to knock the ball carrier down with the ball scattering into a catch by Ramtut III.
What?
He's But before that, Wrathy takes a 3-die on White Raven thanks to some health, which turn 11 finally kills him.
Ooh,
so thank Wrathy for that.
Yes. Yeah. Thank the rats.
The elves are in a bad position at this point.
Yeah.
They got a good player dead. They're down to 8 on the field, and the ball's on a strength 6 player. A failed dodge on turn 12 produces a KO that then takes them down to 7 on the field. A bull that had been left in kind of a vulnerable position thanks to a desperate attempt on the ball, then gets surfed by the Khemri. No damage, but then that's 6 on the field.
Wow.
Turn 13, a Khemri foul makes it 5 left on the field. And so at that point, we have Cthulhu just trying to make like uphills on a Ramtut.
Yeah.
And it's just not working.
Yeah.
Turn 15, Ramtut the third dodges away from the elf, marking him. It was actually a 6, though. He has break tackle, so it was really likely to succeed. And just walks the ball into the end zone.
Oh, wow.
The elves can try a 1 turn.
I did catch this part.
But and even with a perfect defense, they make a really lovely attempt at it.
Yeah.
But they failed a second GFI to make it into the end zone. They don't have a roll.
I remember. Yeah, I saw the very end of this, the 1-turn defense from the Khemri was a little lacking in inspiration for me, but they had already done their part basically. I mean, to get to there, again was just huge.
So huge match for Pit Pup. Congrats to him on taking down this.
Absolutely,
this team that's has just dunked on so many other coaches.
Yeah.
It's just unfortunate to Clown Thulu. That's a nice piece you lost.
Yeah.
It's a really unfortunate loss. Match you really wanted to win.
Right. And that piece
got close in a number of places. There were some really unfortunate rolls in there, like just Snake Eyes and failed GFIs that could have really changed things.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man. They do have enough for replacement.
So there is a replacement already.
Okay. Yeah, so we'll look at that. Thrower gets blocked. I guess that's the second thrower gets blocked for the Hornets. And then Rathru getting Stand Firm, which is great.
Yeah. Yep. 2 solid levels.
Yeah. I can't remember if he was talking in the Discord about whether to take Stand Firm or Break Tackle. Or maybe,
I like Stand.
Yeah, I like Stand Firm too. I like the idea of like 1 Break Tackle Tomb Guardian, but I don't know.
Yeah, I could see it, but
down the line maybe.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, very exciting. All right. Well, let's move on. I think we've got 2 more.
Yeah.
Just to recap.
Yeah, I'm going to go refresh my drink while you do this one.
Okay.
Enjoy.
What? This one was pretty exciting too, though. We also had Goblins.deck, who I can't remember what place they were in at this time. I've had too much shake-up in the leaderboard, but I think either 1 or 2, going up against Peak Altitude, who was in 13th at the time of this. And not the result we predicted for this. I thought a lot more elves will be harmed in the making of this Goblins.deck win. And, a big one did with that death. But yeah, as far as the match itself, High Elves won the toss and chose to kick. And the Skaven, as they have historically throughout the season, just started out by punching and fouling. But you could kind of sense things were going a little off, just from the immediate stun send-off that happened with Lobber Crew there. The elves continued their tradition of not knowing how to elf and snake their first action dodge to pressure the ball. The ball was like secured but deep on one of the gutter runners, and they made a dodge. I don't think they needed to make this dodge, but I don't know if they were trying to set up for something else. But they went through a tackle zone when they had a clear path. and they snaked it. It was a dodge piece. They didn't use a reroll, but yeah. And then the Skaven, who were set up for a potential 2-turn because they have, they have movement up pieces. They just score on turn 2. Pile driver cast some linemen. Oh yeah, I guess it was Matterhorn, and yeah, so it's 1-0 on turn 2. Elves. Yeah, the elves just get 1 removal on the LOS, and they're able to secure the ball and just kind of get set up. The Skaven screen, pile driver, KOs a piece, and I think at this point the High Elves just remember or realize, like, oh yeah, we need to get rid of pile driver. Especially with only being 1 Storm Vermin and with Pile Driver having a niggling injury. Yeah, it just seems like a good target, but they don't get any damage. It looked like they basically like surrounded him on this turn, and I thought they were gonna foul, then they didn't. They had a loner marked up on just a random line rat, and I think they were gonna foul, but maybe they ran out of time. But yeah, then the Skaven just start to crowd the elves who are along the sideline. The elves are able to escape and get the ball deep, but then Triform just starts doing Triform cutter stuff. They mark the ball at one point, and then take a blitz. Triform takes a blitz from the ball carrier and gets stunned, and getting a few KOs here and there. I guess Triform wasn't stunned because then it attempts a sack and fails on turn 6. And this kind of starts to become a theme. There's a lot of sack attempts here, and High Elves aren't too worried about Triform because of the stun, so they focus again on Pile Driver and stall. They stall again. It's turn 7. Rats only have 6 pieces at this point, and Cutter's stunned, so they can't really force the issue too much. High Elves keep caging, and like do like a desperate 1-die blitz at the end, and the rats get 1 more shot, but Triform fails another sack attempt, so the High Elves score, and it's 1-1 at the half. But the rats only to start the half, the rats only have 7 pieces on the field, where the High Elves have 10, and that's when the blizzard starts. So after a nice brisk winter day, the blizzard comes through, and is in for, I think, the rest of the half, which if you're a rat team that wants to be able to try to 1-turn at the end, you're hoping the kickoff result on that, assuming the High Elves are able to stall out, changes the weather for you. But yeah, so we get to get into the first half, and the High Elves are able to get the ball and cage, and the Skaven the Skaven get in and like break open the cage with Triform Cutter and get the ball on the ground like right away.
As you do.
Yep. So it's either working or it's not, but either way you're rolling it. And so they just start to swarm in. Turn 10 is probably the turn of the match. The High Elves punch Triform Cutter, who sidesteps into the ball, and it might have been, actually, I can't remember if that was a choice or if they had the rest of the spots blocked off. I don't think so. So it chose to scatter the ball, but it scattered into the elf thrower's hands, who then passes it to Vesuvius, all the way down, who's down the pitch and ready to score. They also Kaz Pile Driver, who gets power appoed by the Skaven here. So on the Skaven side of turn 10, they send Festering Goblin after Vesuvius, as you do, who kills him, and no Appo came out to save Vesuvius this day. Just let him go.
Wow.
I guess looking at, again,
we got that niggle, right?
Yeah.
That's the thing, right? You see that it's like, how many Appos am I going to invest in this guy over his career?
Yep. And yeah, he said none, because he's had those
No
blisters die. Yeah, no more, right? He's had those blisters die in matches before, so yeah, I think it's like, all right, enough is enough. So yeah, that was a big back and forth swing. They mark up the ball at that point. There's not a whole lot of high elves down there, but and not a lot of Skaven either, but the Skaven have it marked off. That said, the high elves are able to catch up, clear the mark, pick up the ball, and they're on the sideline, kind of caged. Skaven send in Triform Cutter from way deep. It's like one of those things where you're like, oh, he can't. Oh wow, yeah, he has range.
Yeah, that is my experience with Skaven matches. Is you have to actually count the spaces.
Yeah.
You can't just be like, oh, this looks right.
Right.
It's like, no, you have to count. You click on the gutter runner and count out the spaces. Because if not,
well,
he's going to get around.
Especially, I think there's some weird psychology thing that happens too. If you, Tim had sent Triform almost like a scoring threat to the other half. And so I think there's a psychological thing that happens there where you're like, okay, so that's the scoring threat. He's going to stay there. Doesn't want to move that back. And then immediately the next turn, he's screaming in there, going after this ball. And so, unfortunately, he's skull. It's a red die, and it's skull pow on the reroll. So that didn't work. The high elves use a reroll to surf Festering Goblin, for no other apparent reason than to just get vengeance on the guy for killing one of their own. And then they're able to cage up kind of, but they also wanted to foul Triform, so they had a lot of competing priorities happening. They get the foul off and they're caged up kind of, the Skaven are just red die in the ball carrier, but can't get anything to happen out of that. They fail a GFI and use the last reroll to just make the blitz happen. So it's turn 13. Skaven's got no rerolls. High elves are just fouling and caging. Skaven try to up the pressure. High elves are just stalling. And it's 5v9 at turn 15. Doesn't matter. Triform's still out there. Triform gets in, knocks the ball free. Skaven recover in the midst of 4 high elves.
Wow.
Try to pass, and it's intercepted. So turn 16, the elves KO Redcap, which is important, and then they surf another gutter runner because with 2 die, which is wild, and then they score to go up 2-1. It's 7v9. Redcap doesn't come back, which I guess they have Trashmaster, and so again, it's snowing. Goblin's deck doesn't have a reroll. Here comes the kick. It's a touchback, and Goblin's deck get a free reroll to therefore immediately use on their blitz, because I think it was a POW, Defender Stumbles or something like that. So they managed to obviously tie it up on this one turn attempt. This one turn attempt was 27% chance to pull off, even with the touchback, because they ended up having to do, I think, 4 3+s with one built-in reroll, but that was it. Plus 3 blocks even after the blitz. So it was it was almost the same as like as what happened with Sterling Hornets. Given the, so like this was like 2 against 13, I think, versus like 1 versus 12. And peak altitude just about had it. But Tim's luck, which was not always there, showed up in the moment he needed to at least salvage this match. And otherwise, yeah, got a big level out of it, right? Where we get finally natural one-turner and murderous red cap.
Because we're looking at Goblins on deck and we're like, this team is just not good enough.
Yeah.
It needs to not only be very good, but also unfair.
Right. Yeah. It's like he keeps keeping that festering goblin around, and what has he done? He just goes kills pieces. Yeah, so, no big damage. They're going to get War Chief back for the next match. And they now have a natural one-turner, which,
I would assume they'll easily win whatever their next match is.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, they've been doing great without a natural one-turner. Now that they have one, this is going to be ridiculous. But on the other side, Peak Altitude got, I was going to say some really nice development, but also some not so great development. Or at least, like, you probably didn't want that MVP to roll in on Matterhorn right after he took the niggle. And give him a level, because I don't think you can keep that. They also have some cash on hand to replace the catcher if they want. They got Strong Arm on their thrower, which is really nice. And I guess an unassigned skill on that agility up lineman. But or at least that's what it looks like from the sheet. But that's a really nice piece that has been like a work in progress, because it got the agility up first during the season, and then just trying to keep it alive through all of these other pieces dying has been pretty impressive.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that sounds like that really exciting match.
Yeah. I like seeing the Blizzard matches too. You see like a lot of coaches having to do some different things, and it was cool. All right, let's move on to the last match. Mean Green and Thick versus Arf Arf. I'm an elf. This was the one I think that finished as we were wrapping up the recap last week.
That sounds right.
In which we were saying, I think this will probably be a tie. And here it was.
Yeah.
1-1 tie. So I watched the recap of this one, and not a lot that you can tell from the sheet other than Arf Arf was trying to foul a lot and didn't seem to be working too much.
I'm surprised. It seems like a very low damage match for this.
Yep. Yeah, especially with 2 werewolves running around. You'd think you'd see a little bit more. Though that, the one Black Orc injury happens pretty early on. So Orcs win the toss and they want the ball. So they start up. It actually lands into Gojik's hands. And Gojira just rolled with it. It's like, all right, cool. They cage up and just start punching and fouling, as they like to do. But they didn't get much damage, as you can see throughout the whole match. But stand form definitely became a big thing for both of these coaches. There was a lot of scrum. The Necro tried to do like a bunch of like strategic blitzes the first couple turns as the Orcs continued to punch and cage and move up. That's when they got little Gawain, and that was, I believe, Legolas 2.0 getting him. And then they're kind of screamed a little bit. The Orcs, are interested in scrumming and just kind of getting into it. A lot of punches. And I think by turn 3 is when the orcs get their first KO removal. I may have just even been on a zombie at that point. The ball is like hanging out at midfield. Even by the end of the first quarter, it's just stuck in midfield as these two teams just scrap. Blitzer gets ejected on a foul that didn't do any damage. The orcs...
Hardly seems fair.
Yeah, right. The orcs get another KO, which means it's... Even though there's not been like damage, the orcs are up 10-8 on the, at least on the pitch. And so they're, you know, they're trying to get their cage upfield. The Necro on turn 6, this was weird to me. They like backed off. Like they had a couple of their important pieces like way back, like on the back line, giving the orcs lots of room. They managed to like also KO a black orc, but they still didn't have like much of an aggressive screen. And so orcs just like, okay, cool. On turn 7 they move up, they're all in scoring range. Then the Necro are like, oh shit, or something. They just swarm everything, and the orcs are pretty easily able to clear the swarm. Though there was a dub skull that got saved by a reroll, but otherwise it was fine. So they score.
Yeah, I feel like a full-on like scrum between these teams. Orcs are preferred there.
Yeah. And again, like as Gojira is mentioning, I didn't note this too much, but like stand firm was big in like all of that, right? It was just like keeping position, where each team wanted it in the case of the flesh columns, but it was more important here for the orcs not to get pushed further back. The Necro on their turn 8 just elect to like punch stuff, and they do get a casualty. That's where little Gas X gets badly hurt, and then there's another KO as well. So start of the second half, it's 8 orcs versus 9 Necro, which is still kind of wild. And the Necro, the kick is rather short, but they're able to secure it, and the orcs just get back into scrumming. It's probably like turn 10, turn 11, where what I would say like the plays or turns of the game. The Necro reverse pitch and the orcs bring out the lightning bolt at the start of the turn, but they're not in a super great position to be able to pick up the ball. So they just mark the ball and what was the ball carrier, and then on turn 11, it actually did work out for them because Necro double skulled twice in one turn. So they double skulled, re-rolled, success, and then double skulled again. And they don't recover the ball. They have no re-rolls left. As Gojira is saying, like a ton of greedy werewolf re-rolls in the second half. So we're at turn 11, and there's no Necro re-rolls to be found. The orcs on their turn, on their half of turn 11, managed to pick up the ball and start running downfield, but wasn't able to get any protection. They tried to dodge out, but failed, and that ended up in a KO. I don't remember what piece. I think it was one of the linemen, but just didn't have anybody that they could send up there. This was like mid, the Necro's half of the field. So the Necro pretty easily catch up and recover the ball. They get a blitz and they KO. The ball carrier was actually Guali, which is a pretty good piece. And not one you really want targeted, but that was the piece that he had for the ball recovery the turn before. Right. So they get the ball. They don't really have it safe, but there's not many orcs close. And then on the orcs' turn, they tried another dodge and they failed it. That happened quite a few times, I think. So yeah, it gets into the fourth quarter, and the Necro are able to start moving it up a bit. They also Dub Skull again. This time, this time they don't have any rerolls to save them.
Right.
And this actually might have been my favorite turn because the Orcs went 2 for 2 on Quintus removals. They got a KO on one, and then and then a Kaz on the other. I don't know if Quintus the Doppelganger took any injuries, but I would think not because he's not the one we care about. But yeah, then Stand Firm is all over the ball, which you know, that's gonna make it tough for Necro. But you know, they're able to just like, they keep trying to punch, and they can't get it on turn 14, but the Orcs can't get any. They can't even get any knockdowns on their turn 14. Like they're just rolling pushes all over the place. Turn 15, the Necro finally clears Stand Firm and get the ball deep. It was kind of, you know, it was a little chancy, but given that they had no rerolls, but they had to try something. And by that point, the Orcs were all pretty much based up in a scrum midfield, and with the Necro's speed, they were able to score.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Gojira saying he KO'd himself a lot, so that might have been some of those KOs sustained. But those dodges just really weren't doing anything for him.
Yeah.
And yeah, otherwise pretty uneventful, just uneventful tie. And you know,
niggled zombie, but who cares?
Yeah.
Other than that, nothing that's going to stick around, even a match.
Yep.
And 2 nice MVPs, right? Like a Black Orc MVP is great.
Yep.
Didn't get him a level, but like at some point it will. And a Werewolf MVP, you know, that piece is a little more capable of leveling itself, but still,
yeah,
you know, getting its fifth and all but final skill is perfectly nice.
Yeah, definitely. And then guard on alignment, line orc.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's great. That's great. You wanna. You want, like, particularly with Furious Fred being, like, probably at some point going to die. You want to get him guard, get him block, and then he's, you know, he's not everything Fred is, but he's, like, the 2 most essential things Fred is.
Yep, exactly. Cool. And that's our review of the week.
Yeah.
Getting longer and longer each time.
Yeah.
Yeah, you all have to come on and help us out with these, because...
Yeah, we look forward to the 4-hour end cap.
Yeah. There's too many stories now, right? Like, we've gotten to know all these players so well, including all of the Quintuses. Not just players in the sense of like coaches, players like individual pieces. Yeah, and the coaches too. Like, we can talk about like their play styles and like what this match means and all that stuff. So it's just, as we get into this more, it's getting longer and longer, but yeah. All right. Well, let's move into leaderboards. What they were at the end of week 11.
Right. So nothing what you're about to see takes into account any of the week 12 stuff.
Yep. In which we talked about both Goatwork and Tainted Brewers getting big wins and are rewarded for it with
the first and second place.
Yeah, and Sterling Hornets with the loss, Goblins.deck with the tie. Means that they're, you know, pretty close, in close contention for that third place, but not really where they wanted to be, or thought they would be.
Yeah, but I'd say like the really big thing here is you look at Tainted Brewers, and you see the purple line, you follow it back, and it's just win for this, you know, almost the second half of the season. Just he has been really consistent this last many weeks, and the people he's been competing against have had, you know, they just fallen off a little bit, and he's able to, or more than a little bit sometimes, and he's been able to take the lead. Go Work Orange, not quite as strong over that period of time, but still playing very well. Last few weeks, not to say a loss means you play badly or anything, but
right.
Getting a lot of success, and so a real upset over what this looked like a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I mean, and if you do look at that line, you could also see, like, if Sterling Hornets had managed to win, they'd be up there with Tainted Brewers too. But as it is, they did not, and that's the difference. So yeah, and then looking at the projector, in which we have 2 weeks left. Hopefully, I got the right one.
The labels were very clear this time.
They were very clear. You did.
Yeah, this is the correct one.
Great job.
So yeah, this is not taking into account the games that have been played. You'll get to see that at the end of the cast, as we have an updated one of this. But we wanted to talk about this here in the midpoint.
Yep.
And yeah, what we see is this week is, as you would expect, Tainted Brewers and Go Work Orange really improved their chances.
Yeah.
Everyone else's chances went down.
Yeah. 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 Exactly.
And so we've got like the top. We've really got like a top 1, then a tier of 3, then a tier of like 3.
Mm-hmm.
Is how I would look at it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think that's very fair. Yeah, all 3 of us hybrid teams trying to reach for greatness, and instead we got our top 2 bash and our top 2 agility teams.
Yeah.
Really looking like the ones fighting over 3 spots.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we'll have to see.
And I think you had some comments on that top 3 spots.
Yeah. So yeah, I mentioned this last week, but now I have a chart that hopefully doesn't look too atrocious. Wow, those colors. All right. I don't know if I'll work on that next time, but that is what it is. Yeah, so these are the current 3rd place rankings. I didn't actually do a like freeze frame after week 11 sort of thing with this, just because there's too many things that can like change formulas. So as of right now, or as of this afternoon when I did this, this is what the 3rd place looks like for these divisions. There's truthfully only 2 teams that have played 12 matches, and one of those is the 25-point team. So that doesn't affect the Div 4 or 4D standings, which you can see Sterling Hornets is in the 7th position. This does take into account TD differential. That's why they're up above. Who even knows how to say that team name? And that's why Pox Invictus is above Rat Street Boys. Obviously, the bottom 3 are not going to make it. But we talked about this last week of being in the 4th position, and us only getting 1 point. And jeez, that is such a heavy sigh. Yes, we took a hit basically because, we only gained 1 point in that position versus like some of these other ones, which have gained obviously 3 points.
Yeah, folks, we said like, hey, you guys are in a comfortable position where like whoever gets 3rd place is going to make it to the Challengers Cup. That did not take into account like everyone competing for that spot managing to either lose against a low ranked team or tie someone else in that group.
Yeah.
Like, it's absurd. Like, y'all, it's like y'all coordinated to make us look bad. And one of the people is in this cast. So I feel like it probably is not
I
purposeful.
definitely coordinated to make us look bad.
It's, man.
You seen my avatar? Yeah.
Yeah, you guys need to start winning games.
Yep. Yeah, definitely.
So I think it is still likely, I think, that like the 3rd place team is going to make it to the Challengers Cup, but it is no longer as solid. If you would like to do that and be in 3rd place, please try winning a game.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's 3 points. 3 points are the difference between our position and the very last position.
Yeah, I believe the 3rd place team will win their next 2 games.
Yeah. I think so. As far as the team ending up in 3rd place, I agree. I think also the 19-point team, the Delves, I think they played 12 matches. Or, quote unquote, they played their week 12 match. I think they've only played 8 matches this season. They're like a Spoonie Bard's last minute replacement.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah. They're like the Iron. I keep wanting to say Iron Maiden, but that's not a coach. That's
Iron Master?
Iron Master, yeah.
Okay.
Close. Yeah, it's like this year's Iron Masters, who came in as a last-minute replacement last year with Norse and went undefeated.
Interesting.
But yeah, I think the Delves are 6-1-1. But even still, yeah, we would need to step up our game as a division, which I think, yeah, I do think out of, like you said, there's a top 1 and a top 3. Out of those top 3, we got to see some, like 2 of them start winning in the next 2 weeks.
Pib been commenting that he hit, the lineup of lower place teams, but if we look at his record as it is now, he's definitely also beaten some non-lower place teams.
Yeah. I mean, we just talked about.
It's been a legitimately good run, and we've seen some teams this week lose against lower place teams.
Yeah. We saw Sterling Hornets loss. We saw Goblin Stunt Deck barely get across the finish line to tie against Peak Altitude. So I think, yeah.
I'm going to disagree with his sort of modesty. And say, no, you have played well.
Yeah. Yeah, agreed. So, yeah. Hopefully we're going to have the stop. Yeah. We'll have the stop barely tying week this week or something. We'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's look at this slate of matchups. Again, there's 2 that's already happened. We're not really going to talk about those. We will at the end go through what the projector looks like after taking into those matches. So if somebody wants to not be spoiled for some reason, like who has time for that, but not me anymore. Yeah, but yeah, let's get into it.
Yep.
First up, Cross the Empire versus Silkwood City Slingers. Oh god. This match is going to be the silliest.
Just ridiculous, right? 12 versus 14, 2 coaches who just do not seem to give a shit anymore. Just slamming against each other. 2-10 to the City Slickers. I'm excited to see what weird star player shows up out of that.
Yeah, do they have a chainsaw piece that we don't know about?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. Is he really keeping that double agility down lineman? It's still on his team right now.
Kujiro's got to go soon. We should just go ahead and do his second. I'm fine with that.
Okay.
We can fuck with it.
Yeah. Let's. Yeah.
But we'll finish this match first, of course.
Yeah, and we can skip ahead and come back.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just. I don't know. This team is such an enigma. Given how many stat ups they came into the season, and now they're like, no, we're gonna do the opposite. We're gonna keep all the players with stat downs.
Yeah. Yeah. So this one will be silly.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see what happens. I think we agreed I'll be covering this one this week.
Yes, please.
Because that's going to be nonsense.
Yeah.
But I'm curious to see it, but I don't think it is what it is.
Yeah.
Let's go talk about Godzilla.
All right. Here we are. What do we even say?
We will go back to all of those matches. Of course.
Yeah. We'll rewind. Yeah, so schedule for Sunday, 12 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, this will be...
Wow, 320 inducements.
Mm-hmm.
With the Nuffa altar. Won't that be fun? Actually, it's going to be 330 inducements, because you and I both know you're going to get... what's his name? Boomer, of course. Yeah, you're going to get Boomer. You'll spend 10 of that. But yeah, so Gojira could count on 330.
Yep.
I wouldn't be... I wonder what you get for that. I feel like a Wizard's not the way to go going against... Because I feel like you would play Norse as agility in this matchup with some targeted hitting pieces. But you're going to try to be mobile. You, of course, don't have to confirm or deny any of these things. That's just what I look at.
Yeah.
So the Wizard probably isn't going to be really strong. You're going to be able to carry deep with 666 and then pass to a runner to do fast plays. Yeah, instead I would look at you could buy a broad for damage, but you should really be looking at the star players to see is there something fun. Ragul 6-2er who's normally 290 is going to be 240. He's fun. That's a 6-4-3-9. Stat line's always strength 4. And loner block, jump up, mighty blow, thick skull. Mighty blow's fantastic against Norse because with 87, you can just like destroy them. So I'd probably get that guy. That's 240. That leaves you with 90. You spend 10. That's a bribe.
Yeah. I think you definitely get a bribe and then figure out the rest.
Even without a fouling piece, it's probably still worth something. Just because 87 is so easy to break, and there's so many valuable pieces on this Norse team. That said, there are a lot of valuable pieces on this Norse team, right? You've got the Yeti. If he can do some damage against Black Orcs, that could be hugely influential. The Ulfs are better than any of the Black Orcs. The Berserkers are better kill pieces than the Orcs have. Like, Gwylie is good, but I think the Berserkers are better. And there's 2 of them. And the runners are really great. Like, with the runners and throwers, you can move the ball. Like, there's potential there as long as the Norse can keep enough pieces on the field to be able to play.
Yep. That's going to be the tail of the tape is whether Armor 7 plays like Armor 7 this week or Armor 9.
Yeah.
That's absolutely what it'll come down to. Hopefully we won't tie. Did I say die?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
You did say die, but yeah, because you need a win here. Like, actually, I ran the odds on this that if you win your next 2 matches, this match and the one after it, you actually have a pretty good shot of making Champions Cup. But if you so much as tie one of them, it's basically over. Yeah.
Which has been true for a bit, but eventually
it's only gotten truer.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Says, well, if you look at my record, yeah.
It is tough, right? Like, this is Gojira's problem has been that he hasn't won as much as he'd like. He's only got 1 loss, and you're going to have to try to make that 2. But if you don't, there's not, like, a tie is worth nothing.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I hadn't pieced together the 1 loss. That was in week 1. That's wild. That is really interesting. Yeah, no, totally.
Well, I mean, Pip is pushing that because the 1 loss is him beating, like, Gojira.
Yeah, gotcha. Huh, because does Pim not have any ties? Is that the story so far?
That can't be true.
Well, we can go back. But yeah, Gojira, it'll be fun. And yeah, we'll see.
He has no ties. Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought I saw that.
Yeah, Jesus. That's interesting.
Yeah. We thought we were going to see the first against that filthy one.
But for a blitz.
Yep. So yeah, right. Yeah, I just hope it's not a tie. I wouldn't. Yeah. It could get decided like right away, or with like my team just melting away. Like I could see that being a case, or I'll have some shots for a win, and I need to just take those at all costs.
See you, Gojira.
Yeah. All right, let's roll back.
Game 2. So yeah, we should end up looking at Rats of Nim versus Skaven Rat Rodents.
There it is.
Finally, the rat on rat match we've been waiting for.
Yeah. It's been David, it's been a while. I've only been tying people. My dicing hasn't been as hot. Just here and there wild plays, so yeah, maybe it's time to bring out the pitch invasion that clears everybody off or something. Okay, so yeah, Rats and Nim versus Skaven Rat Rodents. Brutus is out for the Skaven. They get 70k. Man, why are they so expensive?
Just the bench. And the Rat Ogre is not cheap. You're not used to Skaven teams being this expensive because normally they don't have Rat Ogres.
Oh, that's right.
The Rat Ogre is I think 150k piece. Yep, it's 150k base. And this has 2 levels, so it's 190.
Okay. Yeah.
It would be a 1300 TV team, and it's very easy to look at it and treat it like that, and not remember the fact that the Rat Ogre is super expensive.
Yeah. It's. I don't know.
I feel like this is a bad match for the Rat Ogre because he's going to get outguarded and outstrengthed, and so he was get isolated and hit and hit and hit until he's finally sent off the field, possibly by a foul because why wouldn't you foul it?
Right.
This feels like a dangerous match for OB Cubby in that like maybe he can win with what he's got, but like
100%. Yeah.
If he cares about playing this team next season, and I'm curious about that, like the fact that he based up so much last game, which is the sort of thing you don't normally do, like that kind of all-in maneuver when you're in 10th place 3 weeks out.
Right.
Says to me maybe he's like, you know what, Martin Brisby isn't worth keeping this team around for. In which case it's like, you just do some like fun nonsense and see what happens. But if he wanted to keep it, this could be a bad match for that.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, and for the, I think this is a great match for the Khemri, because they really don't care about winning this match because nobody, we're not all like pinging him to like make sure he kills something. We don't care about. I don't think anybody at the top has to face Martin Brisbane anymore, so we don't worry about that. And so you can just like punch stuff. Maybe worry about the ball if you need some extra cash after a win.
Yeah, Rats and Nim play Cross of the Empire last week. No one's like.
Oh wow, really? Wow.
It's not worth worrying about.
Yep. No. That's kind of that's probably good. So yeah, I think it'll just be like, okay, what Tomb Guard? Probably Bartholomew wants to get his 2nd level, so just like try to take all the hits and blitzes with him. Even though Ultra Craig's probably close to his 4th level too. Or maybe that's just my impression of him because he's so dreamy. He does it all. Scores touchdowns and kills things.
Yeah, Ultra Craig's at 50 out of 51.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I want to see it. So I think it'll just be. I think this will be a really fun match for the Khemri and a scary match for the Skaven, just like you said.
Yep.
Next match, Flyboys versus Peak Altitude. I don't know. I don't know what to think of Peak Altitude anymore. They've been playing some teams like tight and tough when I don't expect them to, and then like losing when I kind of think they'll put up a fight.
Yeah, very inconsistent team. In a match where the Flyboys, like your match against Gojira, where they need to win this to have it to be able to like try to salvage the Champions Cup, Challengers Cup.
Agreed.
In a match I think they can win.
That
they have a very good team. Dota being out is unfortunate. You'd rather have him because you're already giving enough inducements that like the extra inducements wouldn't be a problem. That said, he's not like a critical piece for this match. Like you always want your Pylon on piece to like hit, I guess, Journeyman. Right. But it's the Mighty Blow tackle guy who's more essential for the good pieces.
Yep. Yeah, that's gonna be your core blitzer anyway for this one. Yeah, I think they can probably win this one just because they have it all. They have kill piece, they have air power, they have agility, and the High Elves have some nice core pieces, but I don't know if it'll be enough to like stem to be able to protect those pieces, but also keep them usable. I don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Flyboys probably takes this. Barring some weirdness. And I don't think Flyboys buys anything else. Like, I don't think they get another lineman or anything.
No.
So, yeah, is what it is. Yeah. Okay. Wait, should they have a journeyman? Or am I counting that wrong?
They should, yes.
Okay. Even still, I mean, that's probably better for them because they had to put Dirty Player in the line against me, which was, yeah, they need to build a bench eventually, but I don't think I would spend it yet.
Yeah, and that made me I miscalculated the inducements value.
Yeah, maybe, or yeah, I don't know. Even so, once you're above 300, yeah, I think yeah. Would you take a wizard with the high elves?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I guess you have the speed. Yeah. And it could, like, especially if it's just like Chuck Yeager carrying the ball somewhere. I mean, he won't do this.
Yeah, I only say don't take the wizard when you're straight up slower than your opponent.
Yeah. Yeah, so probably that, and I don't know. Oh yeah, and he has agility 5, dodge, whatever other skill he takes. So yeah, that could be good. And then you have 240 left. Yeah, so you could get a star player too.
Yep.
I think I'd probably do that.
Yep.
Unless you want. There's nothing else that's really good. Unless you're really wanting to keep this team, in which you take an extra Apo and some babes or something.
This doesn't feel like a keeper to me, but
yeah. I don't know. I think they're still going back and forth on it. So, but I still
that's fair. It's probably at that place where you're going back and forth on it.
Yeah. Which even still, like an extra Apo can still. Never mind. I don't know what piece would be like. All right. Thank goodness you power Apo'd Everest.
Yeah.
Now you're gonna win. Like, I don't know. It's tough. These pieces are good, but they need more other pieces that are good.
Yeah.
To be good.
That's the thing. What I look at is like high elves. The star players of that team can sometimes be like really nice catchers. They're like super dangerous and like a really good thrower. And don't have either of those.
Oh.
Like blitzers are like utility pieces on the team, and that's his most developed stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, so maybe you do take it.
He does have 3 nice levels, like that's being pointed out in chat. Plus movement, strong arm, place. It's not like a bad team.
Yeah.
It's just not like it's not a high elf team that I would look at. You would go into next season expecting to win the season with. Right. Because when you're at 11, you're going to stay in Div 4, and it's like, am I going to get in the top 3? And it's like, no, I'm going to have another development season. Right. And for me, if I'm elves, I'd rather have a development season against rookie teams. Mm-hmm. But high elves is tough.
It really is.
It takes some time, and they're not like they're yeaaight, but they can still like break.
Yeah, exactly. One season team indeed. Cool. Let's move on. Oh yeah, David Clare versus Ponosaurus. The Arfs and the Barks. The naming match we've been waiting for this whole season.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one's already played.
Yep.
I don't actually remember the result of this. I don't know.
I know the results.
Did I see this?
I don't know.
I must not have.
Do you want to know the result?
Yeah, I think so. David's probably say it in chat.
Necro 1-1-0.
Oh yeah, not what I would have picked at all.
No.
Huh. Damage.
I can click and find out.
Yeah. Yeah, we said we would wait and talk about it, so we can do that.
Nothing too crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I guess we're gonna look at what the result meant anyway.
So Necro ended up winning this. Yeah. You look at this and you say that's a little bit more likely. 7th place versus 9th place, 2 teams that are actually doing pretty good. They're well developed. Arf having a little bit better season so far.
Yeah. David Leclerc giving us the recap.
Yeah.
So now we don't have to talk about it next week.
Yeah, so that means that Necro is
just kidding.
As we'll see, still going to be in it for the playoff hunt. Like this is a game they needed to win.
Yeah.
And they did. So we'll talk about that more next week.
Cool. Well, we can also talk about it in the projector too.
Well, yeah, and it'll be relevant to what the projector shows.
Yeah. All right, and we already talked about this match.
Yep.
This match has also already been played. Man.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to talking about this one for sure.
So yeah, we will get into the details of this match next week, but the result, again, spoilers, 2-1 for the Chaos Dwarves, which is, as we'll see in the playoff odds, really cements Pimp in first place.
Yep. And then,
yeah.
Is this the final match of the week?
There's one more after this.
Oh, okay. Wow. Goat Work Orange.
Oh, no. This is Go Work Orange is the final match.
Okay. Yeah. It's like, who was left?
This is probably the match of the week, particularly given the other one has been played.
Yeah.
Like Chaos Dwarves versus Skaven was a huge match. I'm curious. I haven't seen how it went down. I've just seen the result.
Yeah.
So I'll watch that. But
yeah, we had 1v4 and 2v3 this week.
But this is huge.
This is so big.
Because it particularly, I mean, because I looked at the perspective of like, it seems like Tainted Brewers is running away with first place at this point. Mm-hmm. This gets really relevant for second and third.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like even, I mean, this is like one match where you would say, well, I don't know. Yeah, you still probably don't want to tie.
Because
what's that?
Until very recently, Sterling Hornets was ahead of, this is the first week where Troxburg is ahead of Crown through in the rankings.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, you can see it.
That just happened.
Yeah.
And now they're up against each other.
Yeah.
And I mean, if he wins it, that's an incredible, like, what a triumph for him.
Yeah.
Troxburg, that is.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah, a win would be huge. And I'm trying to think, like, I don't think. Probably a tie is not enough for Goat Work because Sterling and Goblins.deck play next week. And like I think a tie this week for Goat Work, Sterling can still like overcome if they win next week.
Right.
So yeah, you still want to win. And like and like you said, it would feel huge to win this one.
Yeah.
But yes, this is 100% the elf team that can fight against Chaos. And
look at the casualty line: 2026, 1926. That is disgusting.
Yeah,
disgusting that this Chaos team has one more casualty by them, and that's the only difference.
Yep. Yeah.
Their casualty percentages. It's nuts.
Yeah.
If that should fail this week, given what Troxbirds has, but maybe it won't.
Yeah.
This is the elf team he should be able to do well against. It's a very dodge light elf team. It's a bashy elf team, and he should be able to just base them up and be like, "I will fight you on this."
Don't
but
do
man,
it. Don't
people
do
have tried that against Cthulhu, and it just goes bad for them.
Yeah. No. I mean,
Pip wants a tie because that way the second and third place teams fall into existence.
You are the 1%.
I see you streaming. I'm on the left side of the screen, and I see your face. Why are you commenting on this?
Is he doing his extra live stream?
I think that is correct.
Oh, okay. He just heard talk of second and third place.
Yeah, he's currently streaming something. Just clicked on him. I don't know what this game is. I don't recognize this.
I think he's doing CCL.
Okay.
For extra life.
Oh, good for him.
Yeah, well, I'll probably host him after.
No, he's not. It's definitely not CCL. It's
some of them.
I don't know. It's like little creatures fighting each other in an arena.
Oh, maybe it's Dota Overlords or whatever it's called.
All right, we don't need to talk about that.
Definitely did not say that right.
Team fight tactics and eating and watching us. So, he's
good stuff. Well, you got to fuel up for those long streams. Okay, so. Yeah, I do think this one will be decided in the first quarter, because if Goatwork Orange takes damage, he is gonna salt the earth with this is just how he plays. Like, he is always waiting for, like, when his team gets hurt, like a Kaz, he gets really hyped up about it. And Sterling Hornets will pounce all over that. But if it goes the other way, I guess it could start out like none of them take any damage.
Yeah. I don't know it's going to be decided in the first quarter the way it sometimes is in like a bash match, but there definitely could be a point where like Troxbirds goes on tilt because things went bad for him.
Yeah. I mean, he went on tilt pretty early on in our match, and he still managed to tie it. So, I don't. Little oomph is enough of a game changer that it could still end up tying. I don't know. This will be interesting because I don't think Goatworks really had to face a team that will cage dive him as effectively since he played Goblins.deck, which was really early on.
Yeah, it's to the extent that I've seen Troxbirds make like mistakes multiple times. It's in the offensive positioning of like how does he control the field on that side of things, and Clown Thulu is really, really well appointed to do something about that. That he can just get in there and punish any mistakes. And so I think, Troxbirds is going to need to play like a tight, really tight match.
This is going to be a really entertaining stream. I really want to clear my calendar, but I think I'm playing right before this.
Yeah, my problem is, like, you're playing at noon. This starts at 1.
Yep.
I play my match in REBBL at 2. And so my plan is...
We really didn't plan this very well.
Yeah, so my plan is to watch Gojira stream of your and his match. That should be done by the time I play. And then do media blackout. And then after my game is over, start this stream and just like pretend that try not to know what happens.
Yeah. I think this... I haven't really done that much this season, but
this is one where I really want to do it.
Yeah, and like Troxbirds is such an entertaining streamer that
he's
a
really good streamer. He's really fun to watch.
Yeah.
Like, if you haven't watched one of his streams, you should check it out.
I have early on and here and there.
Well, not you, I mean the audience.
Oh, yes, you, audience member. But yeah, I think definitely some fouling could be helpful for Goatwork. Like, if he can get some... they do still have the Sterling Hornets does still have a couple niggle pieces that you could target, and if you get those pieces out, there's a lot more breathing room to try to deal with the rest of them.
Yeah.
But this is like, definitely the match of the week, and kind of the match of Goatworks season, and maybe even Sterling Hornets too. Like, a loss here, and if
both of these coaches are desperate for a win.
Yeah, if especially with Ponosaurus winning, and if either I or Flyboys or Klepto can win, then Sterling Hornets could be more in the back seat than they have been all season.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's true. Yeah, I was looking mostly at the Elves because you think of them as fragile, but yeah, we also have Creamsicle who's niggled. We also have Hessenite who does seem to get removed, but I think he gets targeted a lot.
Yeah.
So it's definitely going to be fun to watch, and I will probably try to do the same thing, or just like try to watch this after my match.
You can just do that. I'll be playing Blood Bowl.
Yeah, well, I'll probably be playing for most of it.
True.
But yeah, we'll see. Cool, and that's the week. Y'all want to see what the predictor looks like right now? I'm going to take that as a yes. If you don't, here's where we sign off. Thanks for watching. But yeah. So, after first two, I like that, 11.2. First two matches where Tainted Brewers won, and Elf won.
And Goblins.deck lost.
Yep. Whoa, that gave percentages to me and to Flyboys. Interesting.
Because of Goblins.deck losing.
Yeah.
Like, you are in a position to move in front of them now.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, and like you said, we talked about first place nearly being locked up, and that's 86%. That's pretty good with 1 week to go for them. You look at the chart, you look at the graph on the left, it's like purple, just like Yep.
way up there, and everyone else is like, can I get a little bit of first place?
Yeah, I think Pimp was talking about this for at the end of their stream when they won, that did lock them into a potential playoff spot. I think at what has he got, 23 point? No.
Yes, he's guaranteed to be in the top 2 spots, which means he's going to a playoff.
Yes. Oh yeah, you're right. Why is the 1 through 3 100% and 1 through 2 100%?
Because they're both 100%. If the 1 through 2 is 100%, then if being in the top 2 is 100%, then logically being in the top 3 has to be 100%, right?
Yeah.
If you're in the top 2, you're definitely in the top 3.
Yeah, I've been looking at them as like third place, second place, first place. But yeah,
nope,
that's not the way.
They are cumulative.
Yeah.
Which, if you put it another way, the 1 column adds up to 100%. The 1 to 2 column adds up to 200%. The 1 to 3 column adds up to 300%.
Oh yeah, that's a good way to describe it. Yeah, so right at this moment, only Goatwork Orange and Sterling Hornets have the chance to get the lone playoff spot, main playoff spot, and that will obviously be decided based off of the match this week.
Yeah, they need to win this match and their next match, and for Tainted Brewers to like fuck up.
Yeah. And yeah, for the rest of us, we still have our slim hopes. Goblins deck isn't out of it. They have a 30% chance.
Better chance than you.
That's right. Yeah, twice as good as Flyboys and Arf Arf. Yeah, so they still have a shot. Though they do play Sterling Hornets for the last match, but yeah, I think both of those teams are going to be hungry no matter what happens with Goatwork Orange and Hornets. Yeah, very exciting. This is I really don't remember my last season being quite this back and forth for, division supremacy.
No.
So yeah, this is very exciting. But yeah, I think that's
it.
Does it for us. Thank you all for watching. Actually, let me do just a reminder. We mentioned this at the top, but yeah, we've got the year-end 4D party cap coming up November 14th. I think Gorgira said he was going to try to make it. Everyone else is invited, and yeah, going to be putting up the year-end exit interview in the description on YouTube, and I'll be putting it in the Discord after this. Momentarily after the stream. I gotta go refresh myself, but yeah, we'll be putting that out there. Like we said, feel free to get started on it, but you don't have to finish it until you play your last match. But yeah, we'd like to hear from you. Like to hear what you liked about the season, what you didn't, and yeah, what you're looking to do or accomplish next season.
Yep.
All right, everyone have a good night, and we will try to be back on Thursday next week, I believe. So looking forward to that, and good luck.